What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 23 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Mannfred von Carstein Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, we had a very tactical sort of episode with some very nice fights and have pretty much completed the conquest of the southern Chaos Wastes. A couple of Slaaneshi territories remain and the very edge of the Ghost of Pawash at the Godless Crater. Plus the ghouls had a very nice fight against the forces of Karazakarak and have pretty much destroyed their faction, or at the very least destroyed their strength. They might be able to recover for one more bout at Karazakarak as they try to hold off the Cannibal Tide here, but well, let's just say it's not looking so great for them. In terms of what we gotta do this particular episode, I believe we actually have pretty much everybody still left to move, and there's at least 2 or 3 battles to be had in this particular turn, so let's start moving towards them. First of all, Manny, you will lead. You're going to the Sea Corpse on your way to Nagashazar. I didn't miss any other... No, I didn't. Alright. See if you can't find materials at sea, like some other lords have. Wilmar. We could go for Stunkridge here, but I think we can just ignore it and go directly for Mount Greyhag. We do want to wipe these guys out. And then, Martin, you can head into Crookback Mountain just in case you get attacked. Mount Greyhag has a garrison, but not one worth... Oh! The Fellbats will die if we try this. That's tremendously rude. I mean, it is just 1 unit of Fellbats. It's just let it go. Let it go. It's not supposed to be in this army anyway. I'm a little bit disappointed that the deck droppers got hurt, but we have a lot of healing right now, so we should be okay. Occupy the place. Alright, and delete the... This thing has crypt horrors, eh? You know what? Go for the gibbet, but hold off. We will delete this, but maybe in a little bit, because we were looking to get a few more crypt horrors going. So, why not? Alright, and you will heal nearly to full after all that. Next up, well, actually, no, we'll go in order. I was about to say send Bathilda in for her fight at Mount Silverspear, but, she's next in line anyway. Now, it's been a while since she actually had to fight a fight that was, of significant numbers. We got a pretty solid stack here. Do they have walls? They do not have walls. Okay, so it'll be a field battle so our black coaches can do their thing. Now, we probably want to try to go towards Dread Knights as fast as possible for the upgrades to the carriages, meaning we need to get another point in one of these things. I think we might get some flyers in here, so that would be buffs out of the creatures of the night. I mean, in previous campaigns, Bathilda had a bit of a melee line, but I think we're going all mobile this time around. I kind of teased myself with the option of having... I'll just give her 2 Terrorgeist. Teased myself with the option of having land ships, which we unfortunately couldn't do in this campaign, but next time I play Vlad, I'm going to not have any vampiric or undead allies and go all living, plus vampires, plus his own faction, I mean. So it'll be a very different time to this, which I can appreciate, and I hope you guys will too. Anyway, Dread Knights for you, and I guess we'll also get Flying Horrors in anticipation of the Terrorgeist that will be in here, plus, of course, Undeath Resurgent. Probably don't need anything else. We might want to get a point in Invocation of Nehek. Just, wait, do we have the... Yeah, we do have Grave Ward, good. Let's get Invocation of Nehek. We'll be casting a little bit with her. Sometimes it'll be the Necromancer, but I suppose it doesn't matter over much anyway. Speaking of the Necromancer, let's get you Potent. Otherwise, you can have Wind of Death and Raise Dead, Van Helsdon's Macabre. Don't really care for Gaze of Nagash right now, so we can start moving towards Ancient Binding Rituals, or actually more importantly, Friends in Dark Places. This also does mean that we need to get several more Necros in here to further buff the Black Coaches and Mortis Engines and all that, so Dark Desires. And we do have another Necro with Witherer available, so we could get you on the field. I'm still on the fence about whether we bother getting Vlad a Necro or just do without Necros in his army. But anyway, time to fight, I think. Yeah, go for it. Should be a fun fight. I always enjoy these guys, and we don't really need Recruiter to help, so we could probably just leech a little bit of XP for the units, if nothing else. Valiant defeat, casualties high, that's what I like to see. Although, as usual, I think the game is vastly underestimating Bathilda's capabilities. Go. Alright, here we go. Battle Junkie Bathilda is back and ready for action against just so many rats, although they probably won't have a particularly good time against her black coaches. At the very least, this is probably the best chance they'll ever get to deal with her army until we get 2 more Mortis engines to round it out, and more Necromancers to buff the Mortis engines up. Anyway, Bathilda will head directly for the enemy catapults, not that they're any kind of threat to her Mortis engines or black coaches, who will in the meantime start riding through the piles of rats. The Karen Wraith coachmen swinging away with their scythes and trying to rack up as many kills as possible to buff up those black nimbuses of theirs. Does look like the enemy will charge forth with some rat ogres, which are actually a fairly solid counter to black coaches if a single unit can be surrounded, and that is the danger therein. But we do have the Mortis engines moving in to try to help. We can see that one of the black coaches has taken damage from the rat ogres and will attempt to back off, driving over an assassin and pushing it around, as it does to try to join the other black coaches in the blob. Now, normally you're supposed to do this whole cycle charging thing and charge into and out of lines, but Bathilda's army is a little bit different in the way that she uses the black coaches, since they're essentially the main bulk of her army. And we just want to sort of stay close to the Mortis engines for a little while we rack up the kills and once again power up that black Nimbus and Unholy Vigor and black scythes and everything else that these things have. We just got to get those kills up and running. Alright, getting a little bit of cycle charging. One of our, see, this black coach was being attacked by the rat ogres while it was by itself without the extra ward defense, ward save rather, from the black Nimbus, and it did get fairly heavily damaged by even one single unit of rat ogres. It also wasn't near the Mortis engines, which would otherwise be healing it up. Anyway, Bathilda's working on her own in the background and is moving in to help, while we've also separated our Necromancer plus the skeleton spears here, who are being attacked by the enemy Warlock Master and a bunch of other units. But I'm sure the skeleton spears and the corpse carts and the Necromancer will be able to hold by themselves. Time to get a little bit of that black Nimbus up and running, so Bathilda's going to cast her first and probably only offensive spell here, a Penumbral Pendulum through about half of the line of enemy rats. There we go. That should have been presence for you, I think. Let's see if that worked out well, if I can actually select you. There we go, Unholy Vigor and Black Nimbus maxed out on 1. I think one of or a couple of the other carts were a little bit too far away, or the other black coaches, but that's alright. Hey, it looks like some Death Globes are checking their Death Globes at us, but that really doesn't work so well against the coaches, and frankly, they'll just hit their own units instead. Not that the rats would or should care about such things. Anyway, with the damage done to the enemy, we've racked up the kills, and the black coaches are good to go to ride around and cause absolute havoc, as they're no longer nearly as threatened by the enemy as they were at the start of the battle, having activated their ability. There we are. And once again, I do want 4 Mortis engines in this particular army, because I want 2 black coaches per Mortis engine to work together, rather than 4 black coaches sticking together instead, as it does allow them to sort of cause a lot more havoc rather than in 2 groups, which, don't get me wrong, they still cause plenty of havoc, but you can always cause more havoc, can't you? Alright, just riding around, and let's see how these guys are holding separately. It looks like a couple of the units of Skeleton Spears are damaged. We saw that Black Coach drop down to about half of its HP, and the Skeleton Spear unit is no different, but we'll keep raising dead to help them out and keep healing up as well. If needed, we can always reinforce the place with Bathilda herself, but I don't think we will ever really need to. Warlock Master is down to nearly half of his HP, working through those Skeleton Spears, and while he's racking up those kills between his mount as well, the Warp Grinder, as well as the Chain Lightning spam, or Warp Lightning spam rather, and we'll just heal it all right up and raise those dead back up. Chieftain is down to about half HP, even lower after fighting Bathilda, who has dropped the Enfeebling Foe upon him, and of course with her zombie Maneth near, the enemy Chieftain stands absolutely no chance here. Just getting bowled over as he is, and it looks like every attack from the zombie dragon will land, and the Chieftain will go down. Lovely. In the meantime, the black coaches and the Mortis engines are still in their little trains, occasionally joining all together to become a big old Death Star, and the blender for all of those poor Skaven. There we go, just riding through them. If we could heal them, some Skullcrackers would actually work really nicely with all this. And because of the Skullcracker's ability, they do have more mass to rely upon than the Black Coaches do, so they don't get stuck as easily. The Black Coaches can get up to an insane amount of speed, though, so if they have a few seconds to get up to speed, then they can just rush right through blobs of enemies. Anyway, we're riding around trying to separate the units a little bit. There we go, and head into different directions. And there we go, it looks like all the units are starting to back off, which means with that, the enemy army will break, and the battle is ours. Beautiful. And the coaches that were damaged have healed up to full. I believe Bathilda defeated Lord and... or 2 heroes, or about to be 3 heroes as she lands upon this assassin, who will get devoured as well. Lovely. Lovely work. Can't wait to see the sort of final form of this army once the Black Coaches and stuff has been buffed to the maximum degree. And possibly a couple of flyers here as well. Alright, there we are. Very nice. Big numbers on all the Black Coaches, bigger numbers on the Mortis engines, and biggest numbers on Bathilda herself with nearly 1,200 kills and 100,000 damage. And that was with relatively keeping the offensive casting low. She cast a single penumbral pendulum, but otherwise let the Mortis engines and the Black Coaches work. The purpose of the single offensive spell was once again just to get Black Nimbus activated with the intensity due to being present near a lot of kills, powering up the Black Coaches to, you know, be able to act on their own perfectly well. And we didn't need to use the reinforcing army. Lovely. We're going to occupy the place, and is Tretch's faction destroyed? Was that his last territory? I don't remember. You don't need a Sword of Strife, sir. Province secure, desolation of Asgore. Well-a-tee, well-a-tee, well-a-tee. Isn't that ironic? Big ol' iron. Anyway, repress mortals. Yes, public order and research rate. All good. We'll lose a little bit of public order, but frankly, this province is already looking pretty decent. And hey, we got the free marble as well. More upkeep production for Graveguard, Black Knights, and Blood Knights. Beautiful. Go straight for that gibbet here, and to check. Yes, that was their last territory, meaning Stunkrich will destroy himself, meaning Wilmar leave the settlement and Martin leave the settlement in case they just besiege. I don't want you guys to waste a turn not healing. Alright, and recruiters stay here near to Bathilda as you are looking to meet up with Vlad, who I guess can move on towards the high place. How many territories do these guys have? Just the 2. Oh, Skarsnik. I think you're doomed, buddy. Sorry to say, but I think you're doomed. But anyway, now let's see who's next in the order. Wilhelm, back in action. I assume you leveled up after those battles against the dwarfs. Quite a bit at that, considering we leveled you up prior to fighting them. Now, you, my friend, are on a Terrorgeist, meaning you should have Grave Ward because you need the missile resistance, even ignoring the fact that you are extremely strong. And very difficult to kill. Otherwise, I think we have what we need in terms of the blue and red lines, unless I'm mistaken, so we're probably free to move towards Soulblight. We could probably get another point in Spirit Leech as well. Just because we use it a lot, let's face it. And I do really like Soulblight. Don't really care for Doom and Darkness, even in SFO. Yes, I know, the Leadership Shock can occasionally be useful, but the whatchamacallits... the Strigoi Bloodline are inferior casters, because they're not really capable of it, and thus Doom and Darkness is also the inferior non-overcast variant of the spell, because they're not capable of overcasting. And you can't overcast Soulblight either, but the non-overcast version is still a big ol' area of effect, and melee attack and defense reduction is good for fighting for our ghouls. Soulblight it is. Alright, good for you. What about the Necros? They're more or less maxed out unless I'm mistaken with what they need. We don't really need Friends in Dark Places all that much, though we are looking to replace the 2 Corpse Guards with Mortis engines here, so I guess we can still get those, but only after Arcane Conduit, so that's going to be the priority here, and it's going to be the priority here. Lovely. Oh, you could have probably gotten Ancient Binding Rituals, but we'll get it after, it doesn't really matter. Wilhelm, head to Mount Squighorn, take it, move on to Pillars of Gridney. Not enough damage, and another Lichbone Pendant. I'm always very happy about finding those, because, frankly, if we get enough, I'd put one in every single army. Love that magical damage on units, significantly powering up various things. Give it for you, Mount Squighorn, and onward and upward. Frederick von Carlsbrook, you and Recruiter are going to work together at Castle of Splendor, so you're going to land at Castle of Splendor like so. Pyrrhic Victory, we'll see about that. Scipio, interesting choice for a name. For a Slaneshi, you will march stance. Oh, please tell me you're actually in range. I will be very sad if you're not. Oh, right, you have that. Okay, yeah, we'll deal with it. we will deal. Decisive Victory, I don't see anybody getting destroyed, and yeah, we're okay. Got that free Dawnstone, not that we need it here. Occupy the place and lose the Dawnstone immediately. Forbidden Rod is a nice find. And obviously the Dawnstone shouldn't be on a Recruiter. Corpse Guard with Balefire, Recruiter, you can hold on to it for now. Actually, no, you know what, that's costing us extra money per turn. No thank you. Alright, and Castle of Splendor, don't collect the income here. We'll once again keep the Lodestone of Darkness for the Crypt Core capacity, but otherwise we're fine. And I guess same goes for the Ancient Armory and the Ossuary, though we'll deal with it. Anyway, Warlock, hit the Crucible of Delights. Destroying the Slaneshi for good. Occupy. Lovely, and with that, the Demonium Hills are secured and Rapturous Excess is gone. We do not need the Barrow here, and we will go for Repress Mortals immediately. Gotta try to fix up that public order. Yeah, and then obviously the Recruiter has brought all of these things for Warlock Harkin. His army is not quite yet maxed out to where we want it to be, but it's getting very close. And as soon as the extra units from the other Recruiter reach him, he is going to undertake a crusade against the elves of the eastern colonies. And then we'll see where Unlife takes him afterwards. Always the option to go to Cathay and start hitting the Empire from this direction as well, since we are at war with them and they are taking territory from our precious vassal, the Western Provinces, and frankly, we're gonna send some forces over there to help them out since they're not doing so hot. Anyway, Red Duke, you guys were looking to wipe out Grom the Paunch at Massive Forcal, so we'll have John Doe here besiege the place. Valiant defeat, and I mean, it's a decent garrison. It's not like it'll have any kind of chance against the Red Duke here. March stance, draw close, please. And let's see what we're looking at. Pyrrhic Victory now, but we cannot attack because we don't have Siege Attacker on Mortis Engine or on Blood Knights. Just kind of shocking, but anyway. Alright, Besiege, do that, and then either they sally out and get destroyed, or they don't sally out and they get destroyed. Also, before I forget, let's get that Necro on field for Bathilda, since she does want that extra Necro. Right here, obviously Witherer. And you do not... not for sure. You know what? Keep the Corpse Guard with Unholy Lodestone for now. As long as she has those Skeleton Spears, it still remains to some degree useful. Alright, Nightmare, Corpse Guard. There we go. Alright, who is up next? Gotta try to get through these things quick since we're on the shorter episode now. Shorter episodes, I should say. Kemmler, yes. You have reached Skaven Blight at last, and you're going to besiege it. We'll give them the option of sallying out, though. It is a Pyrrhic Victory, so who knows? They might. They've got a nuke, they've got all the... This is as elite a Skaven army as you will ever be likely to run into. Death Runners, tons of Storm Vermin, Censor Bearers, Poison Winds and Death Globes, Hell Pit Abomination, Doomwheel, Warp Lightning. They could probably use some Giselles, but I'd wager they wouldn't be so super effective against the type of army that Kemmler has anyway. You just can't reach Kemmler. Teensy a bit too far away, but oh well, not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. And speaking of Kemmler, we did his points recently, but we were... Why were we going through Creatures of the Night? I think maybe he started with the point when we got Confederated, and then I didn't bother dealing with it. Otherwise, he'd have Children of the Night instead of the Undying Horde, so we're just going to ignore that. Otherwise, we have everything we want here. except possibly Carriages of Death, because we do have more Dissensions, and we're going to give him some black coaches. But for now, I guess he can get a few more casting things. Let's get him raised dead, and then go through this line, and see how many points we have remaining afterwards. I'd still probably like to get Children of the Night, because his army is quite expensive, because the hex rates do cost a pretty penny. And I think the White Kings are fine as they are. And same with the other heroes, because they already have all their stuff available to them. And, you know, going through 1 point is just a waste of time on screen. I'll do it between the episodes as I usually do. Who's up next? Bone Daddy? Wait, no, let's do it in order. John knows where he's supposed to be. That was Kemmler. Which recruiter is this? Oh, you. Yes, you have these guys that are supposed to go to the new Crypt Horror army, and to transfer the 2 Terrorgeists to Bathilda, because it amuses me for her to have a couple. I might replace them with 2 zombie dragons later, because since she defeated Imric, it feels appropriate for her to have raised some zombie dragons along with zombie Mannfred, right? Anyway, Count Orlock. Oh right, you were besieging Zvorak, and you have 1 point only available to you, but that's fine. You have the Unliving Host for your all-named regular Crypt Ghouls. Still need a Mortis Engine, still need that Necro who's slowly trying to move to your line, but probably enough for your purposes right now. We don't well, actually, you know what, let's get Monstrosities and more just for the attrition reduction. And then let's see, Pyrrhic Victory, eh? Yeah, why not? I'm a little bit concerned about the Warp Storm Doom Rocket, as it would rip apart some of our ghouls, but, well, what are you gonna do? Gotta give it a try. The Scarecrow banner is not needed in this particular army. We're gonna give it to another one, but for now we'll keep it. Let's give one of the ghouls the banner, and I guess also let's give one of the ghouls the standard as well. Actually, frankly, the standard should go on one of the flanking ghouls, because they'll be in the most dangerous position. Go again. Alright, here we go. No speech from our Ghoul King, but that's alright. I'm very excited to try this army out. We've been waiting to go Sepulchral Stalkers, plus Scorpions, plus Ghouls to see how well it works. And it'll function pretty darn differently from the regular Ghoul armies, so there is that to consider as well. I've always loved the Sepulchral Stalkers. They're probably my favorite single unit on the Tomb King's roster, in terms of I just like spamming them constantly, because they can do a lot, and they're a very interesting unit, generally speaking. Those shotgun blasts, the mobility, the stalking, the anti-large halberds on a monstrous infantry unit, that's all very interesting. Anyway, here they're working together with the ghouls, shotgun blasts, and halberds alike, while the Tomb Scorpions have been Vanguard deployed together with the Crypt Ghouls to move at the enemy army from the back. And it looks like we will overrun their backline relatively quickly, but they do still have plenty of melee troops running around. Alright, and the bounce power is still relatively even, but where our ghouls and our Sepulchral Stalkers hit, the poor little ratlings are not having a very good time at all. Alrighty, it looks like the AI is sufficiently annoyed at all of this. I do believe it should be dropping a nuke upon us any time. Or at least trying to drop a nuke upon us. I'm not so sure. Well, it does depend on where it lands, right? If it hits a unit of ghouls directly, said unit of ghouls will most likely be destroyed, and not as threatening probably to the Tomb Scorpions. And I have to wonder how much HP a unit would lose if Sepulchral Stalkers would lose if it gets hit. Huh, will these guys even drop a nuke? They have the opportunity. Alright, well, the rats are around the Scorpions, but of course these Scorpions are healing themselves up nicely with that ravenous hunger that we are getting from our lord here. And it's allowing us to leave the Scorpions exposed without being too afraid of all that damage. And there it is, I believe that is the signal of a nuke coming down from the rats. They will clip one of the units of ghouls as well as one of the units of Scorpions, who just sort of looks cool as it walks away from the nuke. There we go. Cool Scorpions don't look back. And let's see what we got. Yeah, okay, the damage was minimal. I mean, it was just clipped, but it does look like one of the units of ghouls took about half of their HP in terms of damage from the nuke. Which, fair enough. Though I do hear some ghouls like radiation, so there is that. Anyway, with that sort of ace in the hole of the Skaven having failed, the ghouls, the sepulchral stalkers, are free to run amok without being afraid of getting struck by a nuke. And that probably signals the end, or nearing the end of the battle, as there's really nothing they can do. Also gotta love the speed on the sepulchral stalkers as well. We also got the regular poison on their missile damage, while we got the lethal poison or toxin on the, I think it's poison, on the ghouls. So another nice combination. A unit that works very nicely with them. I have really been enjoying the Bone Giants as well, so it does seem like the Tomb King units, if you're careful about putting them with the appropriate armies, and despite not having anything to heal the constructs, will work out quite nicely. And there we go with that. The Rat army is done for. The last of the Skaven slaves, or clan rats or whatever, will break. Our lord defeated the enemy lord in a duel, but it was probably much more interesting to watch these sepulchral stalkers charge on through those pile of rats. And I believe not a single sepulchral stalker was brought down, and they certainly were able to dish out damage and rack up plenty of kills. Looks like that ravenous hunger on them works out real nice. Beautiful. Alrighty, a very nice debut battle for Count Orlock here with his pseudo Tomb King's army. The slaver trait that gives a little bit of regen to all the units in army, really helpful in that the constructs otherwise wouldn't be able to heal themselves, but here, because of it, it's just enough, even if it isn't a lot of healing, to keep them on field without necrotects, which is exactly the concept behind this army. Plus, the secondary concept, which is the sepulchral stalkers and Tomb Kings can both vanguard deploy, and so can all the regular non-crypt horror crypt ghouls, which means the entire army can vanguard deploy, with the exception of the lord and the corpse carts, but they'll be replaced by necromancers on horses, a couple of mortis engines, and then the whole thing will come together real nicely. Anyway, we're gonna occupy the place like so. Potentially to, well, I was about to say potentially to trade, but now we have 3 out of 4 territories here, and if we somehow find enough territories to trade for Akendorf, Karakangazar, and Matorka, and we could have this entire place to ourselves, because I really prefer to have a contiguous empire, and the vampire coast here is a little bit in our way because of it. Actually, just out of curiosity, how much is Verdanos worth to them?
Let us hope what you have to say pleases the mighty
23, and not a crazy amount. Frankly, there's a lot of territories we could probably trade them for it. Also, I saw that we now have the entire territory, so we'll repress the mortals here. All these territories, all giving us a -5 control or relations with Empire. They're probably not super happy about it. But anyway, very nice debut for Orlock and his Scorpions and Stalkers. I love it. Anyway, definitely one of the armies I wanted to try out, and there's still a few more, so we gotta keep on going. Elvira, you have your army complete now, so we'll move you to Darkhold. And I'm gonna say actually go and channel. Oh, right, that's why you were in that. And then move towards Darkhold. We'll channel whenever it is we find the opportunity. And Bone Daddy, I forgot about you. You were sticking around Ekrund because you were waiting for Kadan von Seckenhof, meaning you can't move as yet. At least until Kadan comes and helps you out, because these zombies are supposed to be his reinforcing zombies. So just sit there, buddy. And we can't besiege because there's a lot of units there, so... Oh, actually, if the rebellion forms, you know what? Back away a little bit. If the rebellious army comes in, they might attack you, but I'm sure you'll survive. Brandon Gagnier, who are you again? All right, you're just sitting here for now, that's fine. Vladi, you're supposed to move towards the high place, so we'll declare war on these guys who are currently war with Karazakarak, Karakadrin, and overlords of Jarduk, and they are... Wait. Damn, I was not expecting them to have this many allies. They're allied with the Bone Rattlers. I did not want to get engaged with the Bone Rattlers as yet. We are at war with everybody else, so we'll talk to the overlords of Jarduk and join their war instead against the Crooked Moon like so. And because we want to do it, we'll have to pay you money, but that's fine. We'll still destroy them as needed. Vladdy, hit the high place, please. Now that you can transform into a bat, I'm sure there's a joke to be made there. And out of resolve. Alright, none of the doggos died, which is good for us, so we will occupy the place like so. Lovely. Alright, and we have the Winds of Magic Power Reserve additional out of the Book of Assure, which is nice to have on pretty much everybody. I'm almost now considering whether we should actually transfer the Dire Pack to Vlad, because he can buff them quite a bit more than Nozzard can. On the other hand, I do like the idea of Nozzard leading the piles of Vargovs here. Mittens, Fluffy, Snuggles, Manny's Petty, Chomper, and the Bastard of Barovia. I kind of like it. We need somebody to lead the massive pack of direwolves here, and the dire pack is the best for it. Plus, it provides an anti-large, which we kind of need here, so that's fine. Vlad will be fine, I'm sure. Next, who has not moved? Zacharias Lichberg, yes, you are moving southward to transfer these guys. Oh, you can't because Skulk is there. And you can't move here because... Oh, that's going to be annoying. Because Durthu is there. Switch to ambush stance and move this way. You'll suffer a little bit of attrition, but you have to get to Heinrich Kemmler somehow. Might take a trip by water. Durthu's kind of annoying. We're gonna have to send an army to deal with him. Maybe we'll send the ghoulies with Count Orlock. Anyway, Werner von Waldenhof, you're gonna have to take a plague, unfortunately, because we need to grab Needling in order to move to Mordheim, and we absolutely need to grab Mordheim. I'll resolve this real quick. Channeling Staff and Occupy. I take it that one to you. Yeah, we'll lose that. I'll turn it into something useful. This is just a sort of not real army, you know what I mean? But we might still transfer you a few items so that you can work on your own. It's an auto-resolve army is what I'm getting at. Anyway, Werner... Where are you? Okay, Oswald, Regak, yes, you are supposed to transfer all of these troops over to Kalman Gorst, and I guess you can meet up out here. And we still need to move somebody to take Valley of Horns and Carrickazorn. But we also need to move towards Goldtooth and towards the Golden Order before they occupy too many territories from the western provinces. Granted, we'll probably give them back to them, but, you know... Better not allow or force the AI to take 8 million years to rebuild its stuff. You're gonna go forward, you can suffer a turn of attrition, I don't think we care that much. And you don't have the Vampire, Hilbrand, because I think Wilmar is still holding the Vampire. We'll get him a couple of his own flying vampires, don't worry. It's just that the one he currently has buffs bats, and, well, the follower bat army needs that. And, ooh, I'm excited to try this out with the Sky Lanterns and all that stuff. Anyway, the Sky Lanterns working together with the Deck Droppers, Sky Lanterns providing them additional buffs in the form of accuracy and missile resistance, and then the bats running screen. Anybody else need to move? Ghoul King Hikanorus, you are not really waiting in a sense. I guess you could start moving towards Karakadrin. Yeah, I can start moving towards Karakadrin. French stance, you can't besiege it right now, but somebody needs to take it, and if we have Werner take Mordheim, then you don't need to do it. And northern Sylvania is very well fortified, unlike all of our other territories, because it's up north and surrounded by foes, so we're good. I believe that is an end turn, and the end turn means that we are out of time here. I'm going to still end the turn, because I'd like to do the admin between the episodes, move all the heroes, items, skill points, all that sort of stuff, because we have limited time on screen now, so let's end the turn, see if anything interesting happens, and ooh, well, you know what, if the rats sally out and attack Heinrich Kemmler, we'll still fight. So I think I lied, and we will in fact do his points. You don't need Loyalty Never Ending, you want Cache of Armor for the melee defense, and you want Flow of Battle as priorities. I'd say there's a decent likelihood that the rats at least try this. And I guess we'll want to move towards Immute Offerings for the melee defense. It's a little steep for 3 points with only 6 melee defense, but can't say no to more melee defense. This is when under siege, this is when attacking. 165 armor. I think you'll be fine. The melee defense will provide a bigger benefit for now. So let's do that. And the others are... Yeah, okay, we'll level them up as well. You have We Are the Elite, you have Esteemed Combatant. We don't have Cache of Armor as yet, but you need one more level, so we're nearly there. Let's get you Deadly Blade into Flow of Battle as well, and start moving through Imbued Offerings, I guess. Alright, let's see what you've got. You can reach a natural image by the looks of it, yes? Yes, indeed you can. I don't remember why you have Loyalty Never Ending. I think he was originally with another army, which is why. Let's get you Ancient Treasure into a natural image, and then debuff enemy cavalry. In just a bit, not that we're likely to be debuffing any Skaven. Necromancer, you have 3 points available to you, but I don't think that you really need anything. This doesn't help the army, really. I mean, I suppose the Friends in Dark Places... I keep wanting to say Fiends in Dark Places, which actually kind of works, too. Let's do that. Let's get your Ghoulish Tendencies, then. We should also probably get Potent, but... Actually, I probably should have gotten Potent. I didn't realize you weren't filled up on magic, but oh well. I did not level, so increase mobility. I was waiting for the other Banshee to join in, so let's get you Chilling Aura. I believe we were going for Bony Visage, unless I'm mistaken. And then to Greater Tomb Scream, so we can use the ability more. Alright, now let's end the turn, let's see if they attack at a Skaven Blight. I hope I didn't forget anything, but if I did, it's too late to cry about it now. Alright, Serena Catcherin, the Ice Court. They have ended their trip. And our not public relations, our friendliness was rising. It is interesting to see that Kislev is a strength rank 3. Damn. Considering they're kind of trapped between us and between the Warriors of Chaos, that is really quite surprising, isn't it? Alright, rats. Let's see. Will you try this, or will you allow Kemmler to... no, I think that was their turn. I saw something happen with their army, meaning they did not do it. Alright, well, I guess then we are going to leave them to next episode. Settlement besieged Crookback Mountain. Alright, now Trudge Craventail is destroyed. Or not. Oh, sure. Okay. How is he alive? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Don't tell me he's now too far to reach. No, okay, we're still good, but that was still mildly infuriating. Ally occupies settlement. Hey, followers of Nagash, you're doing work. Yeah, at least this gave us 2 items, so I can't even complain. I started to complain and then I realized I was wrong to do so. Lose both of those items, we'll turn them hopefully into something more useful. Settlement besieged, Galbaraz. Surrender imminent, Galbar... What the bloody... What is this? Die. Alrighty, and we will take the... take the money. We still have a lot of territory to build up after all. There we go, Galbaraz is now fully ours, and I don't imagine it'll be rebelling again. Master Mason or somebody. Unearth Cursed White Blades is complete, so our zombies power it up further. Bump in the Night has some things. Okay, we already took this away from you. Mission successful. I gotta remember to do missions, and there we go, Clan Rictus is destroyed, and so end the announcements. Anyway, with that, we're out of time, and I'm gonna call the episode here. Next time, Kemmler takes Skaven Blight and gets us the 6 of 8 Book of Nagash. Also, while we're here, I'm gonna tell you to occupy Tobaro. Oh, it's full of rats. Okay, I guess we'll give you Tobaro. And these guys have a nice little enclave out here around Montenas. I like it. A little bit unfortunate that we allowed them to take Magritta, though I hadn't thought about it. Or maybe I had, but I didn't care enough, because, I mean, we can live without all the iron on the map, right? Nobody tell Manny. Nobody tell Manny that he doesn't have all the iron on the map. Anyway, calling it here. Continue towards Nagash Azar. Start spreading armies out to various locations. Move Vlad back into the Empire, as he's going to start his journey towards Altdorf itself, as he's going to have to hold it. Durthu is moving towards Karakazor, which ain't too bad. In fact, if he takes it, that might actually work out well for us, because we can then trade it to these guys yet again. Though it does look like PD Thorpe is moving out there, but we'll see what actually happens. Find out next time on Vamps. Don't forget to leave a like and comment below, as it will determine how long this campaign will progress for. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.